Forget gurus. Forget anyone claiming to be an online business expert without going through the challenges of entrepreneurship themselves. The Real Money, Real Business podcast is here to prove the best insights in online business comes from your fellow online business builders. We dig into stories of entrepreneurs selling their business on the Empire Flippers marketplace so that you can learn how they made their business profitable, how they overcame obstacles, and what lessons they learned in their online journey. If you want to take your business and your knowledge to the next level, you've come to the right podcast. Let's get started.
Thanks for tuning in to our seller interview series. Up today, we've got a SaaS service and affiliate business for sale in the business niche. Created in April 2009, this business makes an average of $5,811 per month in net profit, and the listing number for this business is 52062. Now, we do these interviews to give potential buyers more information about both the seller and the asset they're looking to purchase. We hope these insights are helpful for you in making a buying decision. We've got the seller with us today to go through the business and cover everything from niche selection to traffic and monetization. So thanks for coming on, Shema.
Hello, thank you so much for having me. Just trying to have a nice chat with you and being as open as possible. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely. I'm glad to have you here. Glad you're going to be open with the story. 1 minute before we get started, I'll just go over a quick summary of the business. So this business was built in April 2009. This business has average monthly revenue of $9,146 and is producing an average net profit of $5,811, and that's based on a 12-month average. Included in the sale of the business are 3 domains and all site content and files, software source code, native iOS and Android apps plus source code, GitHub accounts, video advertisement productions, full technical documentation and video guides, an email list of 225,193 subscribers, social media accounts, and employee contracts. So now that we've gotten that intro out of the way, let's start the interview. So, Chima, can you tell me a little bit about your background in building and running online businesses?
Well, I'm not a businessman. I'm actually a software developer. I've been developing software most of my life since I was a teenager. And I always had some side businesses, but nothing really serious, just to try new things, just to try new concepts, to test technology. Back in 2009 is when I started this as a hobby. But I had no clue at all about businesses or what I was doing back then. After a few years of developing this software as an open source software, it became quite popular. And yeah, here I am now. So it has been a long ride so far.
Yeah, no, it's such a unique business that you have. I was wondering, can you tell me a little bit about how you came up with the idea to start this in particular?
Yeah, so I was working for a real estate agency, something similar to RMRB, but in my hometown. Then I left my hometown to move abroad with my wife. And we used to run a marketplace website for the customers we had in the real estate agency. What happened is that software was really outdated. And then I left the company. I was like, why these guys, they are not releasing new software versions? Why is it not working that good? I was changing the technology I was working back then, and I had to learn a new one. So I decided just to develop a new one, who starts reading a new book or who starts learning a new language. I'm going to learn Chinese, so I'm going to learn whatever. And then I started typing and developing for 3 weeks that I had between jobs. And in those 3 weeks was the root of what's nowadays this company. It was from a personal need, and I released the software as an open source, and from there it went skyrocket. The first 2 years, they were crazy of number of downloads. They invited me to really many events across Europe. They paid me flight tickets, hotel venues, and yeah, it was really funny back in the time. I had my wife, and I was not a parent or anything, so I could do many things that nowadays have changed a lot. So it was a really fun start, actually.
Oh, that's awesome. Very cool to hear how it got kicked off and really took off. Okay, so can you walk me through how this business primarily makes money? So talk to me about the SaaS and service and affiliate portions of this business.
Yeah, that's a really good question. So we changed through the years, but since 2014, we started the software as a service because we believed in monthly revenue and yearly revenue. So it was a lot more stable than selling just one-time software. That was a really good decision because from there, the company went really good and it's been extremely stable for the past years. It has given me really job stability. That's a really stable income. We have some customers that, of course, they stop their businesses, but some others, they start new ones. So far, we are really happy with that part. And then we don't promote it much, but we offer services. That means we do customizations for customers. So I want to change these colors, or I want this feature, etc. to the new businesses. We do give them a budget and we do these developments for them. Some years or some months we are a lot more busier than others, but we do not promote it much, or we don't engage much with the customers to do this because I lack the time, or I don't want to spend much time on that. I want just a business that runs itself, and I don't want to be much engaged. So that's basically how it's working nowadays, and so far really good.
Excellent. So why are you selling the business instead of keeping it and growing it?
So there's two options here. I could just keep it and be like this. I do not have the knowledge to grow the company. I have tried many times. I lack the marketing knowledge. I lack any kind of business knowledge. Go to the next steps. I tried to hire some people to help me into the business, but they didn't do it actually. I ended up being a bit burnout because when you try to do things that you are not specialized on them and you do not move forward, it gets really frustrating. So I'm a really good developer, but I do not want to be managing a company. So that's what's happening right now. My life has changed a lot in the past 4 or 5 years. My daughter was born, and I want more free time for me, or for doing things that are funnier than managing the company. Not that I spend much time, but I just do not like to be managing any company, doing accountancy, talking to customers. It's not what I'm good at. So that's the main reason, actually. The business itself, it's working great. I make a really good living from it, especially in the country where I live. Anyone will be super happy to have what I have, especially if you take a look to the finances in the last year. It's really stable. I personally do not see any kind of risk, but I just want to start something new, something fresh, and let's see from there where I end up.
Yeah, that's a great, just a lot of good rationale behind doing what you're doing. And I think that answer ties into one of my later questions about like growth opportunities. I understand you said, marketing might not be your strong suit. So we'll get to that in a bit. Before we do get there, I was just wondering if we could talk a little bit about the lessons learned. So is there anything that you learned from this business that you'd apply to future sites or businesses? What did you find in building this business that just seemed to really work for you?
Well, I learned absolutely everything I knew. I mean, everything I know right now is thanks to this business. I mean, I had no clue of what I was doing. I never did a business plan. I never did a marketing plan. I never really, it's crazy, and it has worked so good, I believe, because the product is really good and it's really unique. But from my side, from the business part, it's not that it's been awful. It's just I didn't do anything, or mostly nothing. So I learned many interesting things. Some of them are for me that are really important. One big lesson for me, first of all, I should have gone to the software as a service first earlier. Like, I think I should have moved there from the beginning, or done it from the beginning. I didn't see it clear at that time, and I regret it a lot, because that will have meant like 5 years more of better or more stable revenue. And the other thing, I think we made a mistake, or maybe for a business, or maybe it's a lesson I learned, that we try to target customers for the price, like giving really cheap prices. And I believe it's better to target people that has more income, or at least can afford to start a business. Because our business is to help people to start businesses. And if you don't have enough income to start a website, then you have a problem. But a really valuable lesson is that it's impossible to start or really not normal to start a business in 2 months and make money from it. So we are not promoting much customers to buy 1 month plans. So we are promoting it to buy longer term, because in 1 month to get good results, it's really complicated, unless they had a running business already, or they had a really good marketing plan and they invest a lot. So that's some of the many things I have learned, because I've been learning by mistakes and from other people that we have luckily been close to me and giving me advices, or other customers that they have many great suggestions over the years.
Those are all really good lessons and good to note, and I think they'd be handy for a buyer to know. Switching gears, where does the majority of your traffic come from?
So we started as an open software. We still do have an open source software. We have a footer link. So when you install the software, you get a link that says powered by blah, blah. And then we got many thousands of installations. And also being an open source software, many blogs and many websites that are linking to us, like thousands of thousands. And all of that has been for free. I really can't stress how grateful I am to all those people because it's the main source of traffic and business. I mean, we don't run any marketing. It's all organic and from search engine. And so that's how we get the traffic and it's there forever.
Yeah, no, it's good to know. Your business is quite unique in a way that it's set up that you can naturally get those backlinks. And I'm aware that all of the sites that you have kind of under the umbrella of this business have very high DRs, thanks to the backlinks and thanks to the discussions and forums and things like that. So it is a really unique aspect of what you're doing. Now, I know you mentioned earlier that you weren't doing lots in terms of marketing. Can we talk about that? What does your marketing efforts look like right now?
So my wife, it's been involved a lot the last weeks into to list this business. And then she reminded me that we actually did two marketing campaigns. Basically, where I'm from, letters that I follow, two technological newsletters that I love. And by the end of the year, I decided to contribute or to be sponsoring the newsletters. So, but I didn't do any research. I never actually even asked what was the opening rate or anything. I just felt for doing it because I believe that was such a great. And yeah, I took a look to the statistics like a few months later, and yeah, we made some sales. So it did work, but we do not have any marketing plan or any marketing strategy so far. The last 3-4 years, there has been almost zero investment on marketing. Like we don't do paid ads or anything like that. And I know it's strange, and most businesses they will do it, but yeah, we don't do it, and that's a huge opportunity for those that are willing to invest and they know what they're doing. Of course, if they know what they're doing, they will benefit from it. But I lack the knowledge to run such campaigns and to measure it properly. And
no, it's a good point. I mean, it is amazing to have the business where it is today without, say, active marketing like other businesses. But of course, like you said, it's a great opportunity for a new buyer to come in who wants to implement a marketing strategy. I think it'd be really beneficial for the business. So beyond that, I mean, what are some other growth opportunities that you think are available for this business that a buyer could take advantage of?
Really, there is a lot. There is a lot because basically, as I have mentioned before, we are not doing any kind of promotion for our software. But there is some key or really important things that I think is worth mentioning because they have a lot of potential, like crazy amount of potential. It's not that I believe it. I mean, it's that everyone sees it. And when customers, they join in there, really, you have this? I didn't know you had this, or wow, this is amazing. You have. So one of them is that we have native iOS and Android applications that we built in 2014, but they have been built from zero last year. They actually just finished like just a few months or something like that, developing them. And we are not marketing them. Actually, we have put a really high price because I don't have the time to be handling the customers to sell them the applications. And we spend thousands of dollars on development from an external provider. The apps, they look gorgeous. They work fast. They are really, really good. So that's something that needs to be promoted to email listing, that needs to be marketed by paying ads and to get a proper pricing, because the pricing right now I think is really way too expensive probably. And all of that is from the marketing effort, but also we have a lot of development features. I mean, we have many customers that they want new things to be added, and we are rolling out some new stuff, but at a really slow pace because we are at an age maybe. So for example, something that they have been requesting a lot is like a calendar system that you can book for cars, for Sunday rental cars or rental of rooms or stuff like that. We have not implemented that just because I don't want to spend the time right now, but I believe that's something that many people will ask for it. We have also the language things because we offer support in Spanish and English. There is huge market in French speakers. Actually, we have many French customers, but the website is not translated to French. So it's amazing that they even sign in. It's like, wow. Like Arabic also, we have a lot of customers, Russians, and it's great to see that they are making the effort to go through the website in English and to join, and they know that the support is not going to be in their native language, and still they book in. So yeah, not to mention that besides we don't do any marketing and we don't do any social media either. I mean, it's like we have the accounts, but barely use them, or the last month, no one has been using them. So yeah, I'm not sure if that will work or not, but something that should be taken into account, of course. We could more customization too. Like, we do not accept all the jobs. We're really picky which customers we work, like extremely picky probably. So we could get a lot more customization work, like really a lot, a lot more. So yeah, for those that they have the time and they really know what they're doing, I think they can bring this to a really different dimension that I was not able to do because of my lack of knowledge, mostly, and my lack of drive, probably. So yeah, I hope they can make it huge.
Oh, those are all really great opportunities. And again, it just, depends on the buyer's skill set and what they want to get done with it. But there's a lot of growth avenues, which is really promising. Now, I was wondering if we could cover just the other side of the story here. So what do you think are the biggest risks with the business that a buyer should be aware of?
Well, the last years, I never was worried that the business will work or not. So probably the biggest risk is that I'm not sure that the only thing I can think of is that the new buyer doesn't talk to the customers or doesn't reply to customers. But the business itself, I believe it's extremely stable and extremely secure. So if you do the basics, maintenance and answering customers and being friendly to customers, honestly cannot think of anything that I will be like, wow, this is... Because we had so many competitors so far, and I never threatened by them, actually. I never threatened by them. Because I know we have a lot better product and we are a lot leaner than them. We have a lot less expenses. The product is a lot more optimized than most of them because I have taken a look to their code or how they work. And so I'm not really worried. I'm sorry. I cannot provide a better answer for it.
No, it's okay. That's all good to note. So what about the type of work you're doing on this business for maintenance? Like, how much time are you spending having to actively manage the business?
Yeah, I want to be super honest with this. We have set up 10 hours per week. There is weeks I do 1 hour. There is weeks I do maybe 20 hours because it really depends. So we have 2 employees to support. We have a 1 night shift because during the night I want to cover the Asian part and then during the day we cover it from the American part. And honestly, I only answer directly to customers that they need customizations because it's me who's giving the budgets right now. And some weeks we get, I don't know, or some month we get many customers that they're requesting for budgets, and some others there's nothing. So it really depends on the budgets that they're giving me, and it really depends if there's any issue with any customer that it's me who needs to be talking to them. But it's really difficult to tell an amount of hours. We have set 10 hours because I believe that's maybe the average for the last year. I wish it was even less. Well, last week, for example, we were in bank holidays and I believe I barely worked, or I may have talked to my employees because I have everything so automated. So I tried to automate all the processes as much as possible and we made a really big effort on that. So yeah, that's from my side. And we have employees, of course, they are really important part of the business too.
Okay. Would you say there's skills or requirements for someone not familiar with the niche or business model?
Well, for the niche, it's not super specific, I believe, creating marketplaces. Nothing that I can think of. I mean, because actually it runs like any other business. I will just suggest that when talking to other customers, that they are aware that they cannot build up a business in 1 week and be rich, and that they need to be careful with the fraud. There is a lot of fraud on marketplaces like Craigslist or stuff like that. So that's something we suggest to our customers. But I will be more than happy to help the potential buyer into answering to him to any question he may have, or to share as much knowledge as possible. I mean, I really want this to work for them. I really, really want it. For me, it's a really personal business. It's something for me really important in my life, for a third part of my life. And I build it with all my love. So I will not mind helping him with any question he may have regarding marketplaces or how to create marketplaces. Of course, yeah, I have learned a lot from other customers. I cannot summarize it really quickly, honestly.
No, I get that. Well, I think you were answering my next question, which was about how much support you're offering buyers. So it sounds like you're pretty open to helping them with whatever they need. I have to sort of bring it up, but I think you had talked about doing like over a month of support, or open to over a month of support or something like that.
So I'm really open to this. I have mentioned before, for me it's really important that the handover is done properly. So, because it's what I mentioned, it's something really extremely personal for me. I love this project. So I love it, and for me it's really difficult what I'm doing. And I do not want to put timelines. I mean, I don't mind if after 6 months they contact me and say, hey, Chema, can you help us out on this? We don't know where to start. I will be more than happy. So of course there's limits to everything, but I will be always open to help out if I can. But yeah, I do, by contract, we will agree with 60 days. I'm not sure exactly how it was written during 60 days to help and for Skype calls, but I'm really open to do more, of course. I believe probably we will need more because we have many customers that their business is working with us and we cannot let them down. For me, it's extremely important that they're happy with the changes that are happening, and I hope it's better for them, that more things are going to happen. And so that's why I want to help as much as possible. So if you are the buyer and you're listening to me, I give you my word, I will try my best. I will be as transparent as possible and honest as possible, as I have been with all my customers always. It's super important for me that the customers are happy. They know who I am. They know me by name. And it's important that I know that they're in good hands. And I did the best I could until I left.
That's good to know. I mean, I understand there's a lot of personal significance. Obviously, you've had the business for a long time, so it makes sense. A few wrap-up questions. Would you commit to a non-compete?
Yeah, absolutely. No problem at all.
Okay. And are you open to something like an earnout?
Not now, but I do not like to say never. So I'm open always to talk. So that's never going to be an issue with me. But so far, no. We were thinking of cash only. I want to start some other businesses, and the cash will be great to start some other stuff.
Oh, I get that. Okay, well, final question. Putting yourself in the shoes of a buyer, why do you think this is a business worth buying?
Well, it really depends on where the buyer is coming from, but I believe the potential on this is huge, really. If you know how to drive it, I really believed on this. I've been many years on this, and it's a pity I don't have the skills, or I didn't acquire the knowledge needed to do what needs to be done. I mean, I see some other companies that they are doing so good, not product, but they are website builders in other niche product. It's great. It has evolved a lot. It's constant. It's really updated. So yeah, that's all I can say. I mean, I think it's a really good opportunity if you know how to move it forward. I may regret it at the end. I mean, in some years maybe, but that will be absolutely the win of the buyer because he has done what I was not able to do or what I lacked to do. So I will be really happy. I would love to hear in 2 or 3 years that they have sold it for millions of euros. I mean, that will be, for me, tremendous. I mean, I will be super happy.
Awesome. Well, great. Well, thank you so much for coming on and explaining a bit more about your business. Definitely looking forward to seeing how it all plays out for you.
Thank you so much, Sarah. It was my pleasure.
Thank you. All right. Thanks for everyone who've tuned in and listened to this episode. To check out more details on the business or to unlock the listing, visit empireflippers.com/marketplace and search for listing number 52062. If you're watching this on YouTube or Facebook, click the link in the description to go straight to the listing. By unlocking the listing, you'll be given everything you need to know about the business and can start your due diligence. Until next time.